Hi guys, I am glad to see everyone in the group tonight. Welcome. So if you guys haven't already figured it out by the countdown timer, this is Coturnix Corner Shop Talk. It's a new live stream format. I call it the beta edition, to test something a little bit different that will allow me to engage with you guys a little bit more by making the show a bit more educational and a bit more interactive. The purpose of tonight's show is I want to get your feedback and ideas on what you guys would like to see, from the Shop Talk series. We did a test here about 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know if I could stream from my quail room due to I have to use Wi-Fi in order to do it out here. I don't have the capability of hardwiring it from here into the router. So we did some tests last week or 2 weeks ago, and it turned out pretty good. It worked really well. We also did one of our Coturnix Corner live shows from the quail room, and it worked pretty good. So what I wanted to do is to set up this live stream to be more of a kind of hands-on project type deal where we can do some different workshops, hands-on projects, in-depth videos. Like if I do a video on the YouTube channel, I may not cover every single aspect of whatever that topic might be, and on these workshops we can go ahead and go in a little bit more in depth on stuff like that. So what I want from you guys, if you would, first thing I need to do is figure out what is the best day of the week to do this broadcast. I didn't think about it, but trying to do a live stream on Friday was probably the stupidest thing I could have ever set up, because everybody's getting out of work. They got places to be, paychecks to cash, grocery shopping and whatnot. So I didn't think that one through when I scheduled it for Friday. Another thing is I want to look at what the best time would be. I'm on the East Coast, so we do the Coturnix Corner live at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 o'clock in the afternoon over on the West Coast. So I'm trying to come up with like a happy medium for this live stream. That way, we can kind of cater to both coasts, I guess you'd say it. And the people who are yeah, no, Mark, I did not get a cordless drill yet. The people that are overseas, like Klaus, he's in here tonight. I guess they don't mind staying up till 2, 3 in the morning to watch live streams. So, but we'll see what we can do as far as getting it, the best time for everybody, and the best day. I know we've got live streams on several other channels that take up, various days during the week and weekend. So I don't know. I don't really want to step on anyone's toes, but it is possible to do it, to schedule the stream for after their streams, depending on what the times work like. But if you guys would, while you're commenting in the chat room, give me some ideas what you think the best day of the week is and what the best time would be. Eastern Standard Time, if you would, so I don't have to figure it out. And I'll go over some of the ideas that I've already come up with for this, and that I plan on incorporating into it. One of the first things I wanted to talk about was the live workshops. Basically, the workshops is going to be very similar to like if I was doing a video for the YouTube channel. It could be cage building, talking about incubators, talking about whatever I normally do the video topics on for the channel. I would like to be able to do live here with you guys, and that way we can interact back and forth together. You know, you can give me ideas on changes that should be made, better ideas, stuff like that. So, okay, Jeff likes Friday at 7:30. I'm a little leery about Friday just due to the fact that, you know, I'd hate to have people, you know, get out of work and, you know, have to rush home, especially the people on the West Coast. You know, I know a lot of people got to make it to the bank, you know, after work and whatnot. So, yeah, we're going to take everything into consideration, and we'll you know, pick a day and a time. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be the workshops for this thing, and also hands-on projects. Excuse me. Some of the projects. Well, let me step back a minute. The way I've got it set up now, I have three cameras and a fourth if I need it that I can bring out here in the shop. I can have a wide shot, so you're seeing basically the entire quail room. Then I can have some close-up shots, you know, showing the work that we're doing, or, you know, whatever we might be working on. So we've got the equipment to actually, you know, put on a pretty decent show. And I'll go over some of the different shots and stuff here in a second. But that's kind of what I had in mind. The hands-on project, same thing. You know, it could be something as simple as like this little wire scale cage. It's basically just a miniature cage that you set on top of your scale, zero out the scale, and throw your bird inside, and you know, makes it a little bit easier to get an accurate weight. You don't have to worry about the bird jumping around or flying off the scale, and you got to spend the next 20 minutes, you know, chasing the bird down. So, also another thing, I get a question an awful lot on the Facebook group page, because I keep my birds inside. Everybody wants to know, how do you keep your birds my birds from pooping on the walls and pooping out the sides of the cages and getting it all over the floor? Basically what I do is I use a roof flashing material. It's really cheap. It comes in like, you know, 10, 12, and even larger rolls, I think. But what I do is I rip it down to like about 4 or 5 inches, and then I zip tie it around both sides of the cage and along the back side of the cage. And that does a really good job. As a matter of fact, I was going to demo that today, but I thought, no, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I want to get everything, I want to get all my ducks in a row as far as, you know, this live series is concerned. So when we do go live, it looks, you know, a little bit more professional. We don't have, you know, a bunch of glitches and whatnot. So I want to get everything, all my ducks in a row first, and then we'll actually, probably the next one, we'll actually do a project. Some of the other things, I already mentioned the Coturnix Corner videos. If I do a video and I release it on YouTube, a lot of times on that same video, I'll get a lot of questions, comments, people, you know, coming up with, hey, you should have done this, or what if I tried this, will that work? What we're going to do is actually get my quails in a row. Thanks, Henriette. Appreciate you being here too. Yeah, it'll be nice to be able to address some of those comments and questions live, you know, and get hands-on if possible. Another thing I was thinking about doing is also doing guest appearances here on the Shop Talk live stream. But instead of doing it the way we do over on Coturnix Corner, where, you know, we have a guest come in and they show us their setup and, you know, talk a little bit about how they got into quail and, you know, how they run their operation, have a guest that might be working on a project that, you know, we find interesting. They can set their camera up on their end, and, you know, we can bring them on Shop Talk here and work together to do a, you know, either a workshop or a hands-on project, something along those lines. So that was another thing I was thinking about. Also, I want to do another, yeah, Richard, that's excellent. I'll get to your question here in a minute. Another thing I want to do is a more engaging Q&A. Instead of, I think I see it on every single channel, instead of just, running through the comments, reading, your name and where you're from, the occasional questions, actually engage with you guys, kind of like what I'm trying to do tonight, get you guys to help me out with this, date and time thing and stuff that you'd like to see here on the show, just to kind of, change things up a little bit on these lives. There's so many live streams out there that basically the same thing's happening over and over again, week after week after week. And I don't want to mention any names, but I get bored watching some of them because it's the same thing over and over and over. So I tried to change it up a little bit on Coturnix Corner Live. And, for the most part, we're kind of unique in what we do there. But still, we do the same thing there. We read all the questions and, tell people where you're from and stuff. And, yeah, come on down, Mark. We'll do a little fishing. But yeah, so that was another idea. Also, the last thing I've been doing is I've been talking with some equipment manufacturers that have to do with the poultry industry. And I've got some of them are going to be sending me out some gear and equipment. I get to decide whether or not I want to review them on the channel, to do a regular review video on it, or use it on the live streams, kind of demoing it, for you guys. And the beauty of it is some of this equipment I get to keep, and a lot of it I don't need. So what I'm thinking is we'll do giveaways on this channel, equipment stuff. I don't think we're going to get into doing, hatching egg giveaways. I'm not going to really have this stream, so-called sponsored like we do on the Coturnix Corner Live show. But I would like to, if we do a project like, something stupid like this little cage, if somebody in the group, says, hey, I could use that cage, we'll box it up and ship them out to it, just stuff like that. So those are some of my ideas that I have come up with. Real quick, I wanted to go through some of the different cameras that we have set up here today to give you an idea of the different shots that we can get. The first one is, and this one's kind of silly, but I like it. It's my quail cam. I basically have my cell phone set up using NDI software, which sends the signal from my cell phone over to the laptop here and allows me to broadcast it for you guys. And I can also go full screen with that. If you guys see something in there interesting or whatever, we can go full screen with it. But what I was thinking of doing with that camera, if I'm on a wide shot and say we're working on a project, we can set up that second camera zoomed in so you guys are getting a close-up shot of whatever we're working on. Also, like we had use over on the Coturnix Corner Live show is live web feeds. I can actually pull up any website and in real time, scroll through the website. Now, yeah, this is just Facebook group page, but we can bring that up, to show you guys whether we recommend a website or something, or if we're talking about a project that's on a website, we can bring up that website and kind of go over the project. Then I have my laptop view, which is kind of, pointed up at me. I probably have never used that cam. And the only other thing is, which I also have on the Coturnix Corner Live show, is we do the presentations. I've got it set up. Now this is just a basic slideshow like we do. Let me show you these real quick. These images are what you're seeing behind me. I've got 5 of these 3-tiered setups that I built. Cost me about $500 for all the wire, and probably another $200 to do the framework. And so figure $700. I got 5 3-tier caging systems, which to me are a lot nicer than some other ones. This is the other side of the shop, opposite of these cages. Those are my hatching time cages. I've got 3 of the 3-tier cages, and then 1 of their brooder setups. Let's see what else we got. Let me go back one. There's some of my birds that are in the breeder cages. Oh yeah, back to the wire cages. On the wire cages, I have 2 3-tier setups, which are grow outs, and then I have 3 3-tier setups, which are breeding pens. And of those 3, 2 of them are divided down the center. So I'm getting 6 cages, 1, 2, 3, 6 cages per unit, so that I have 12 separate breeding units, and that's for basically my breeding projects and whatnot. These are a couple of the mutations that I'm going to be working on this year. I really love the pansies. I'm really into the red pansy. So that's going to be something that I'm working on. This is an incubator that I am pretty much using full time now. We did a review on it not too long ago. You can check that out on the channel. But I am extremely happy with the Bravado. I can't believe how well it does. I mean, it does very good. And then, of course, my outside aviary. I don't know why I didn't get pictures of my cages, because I've got pictures of, or I've got cages to the left side of the aviary, the double stack cages out there, and they do pretty well. But here's inside the aviary with the water. It's in a little protective house, which I actually enclose that house now. So, and then another one in the aviary with a feeder and another hide box over there. So, okay, so that's the cameras. That's the. Am I having an issue with audio? See, somebody says mic. Would need to mute the mic on the laptop to eliminate. The laptop mic is. Oh, no, the echo you're hearing is inside the room. I'm sorry, it's just. There's nothing I can do about that. What I plan on doing, which might help it out a little bit, instead of using a shotgun mic, is using a lapel mic. It's not going to pick up that room echo near as bad. But I've got to get my, what do they call that? My wireless mic in order to use it. I can't be wired and walk around the shop and do this. So. But I don't have that, so I'm either going to have to wait till it gets shipped back to me or order another one to use. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and actually, if you guys come up with any ideas, go ahead and post them real quick. I do have a couple quick announcements, which normally we're not going to do announcements on this live stream. We're going to try to change it up so this live stream does not mirror, the Coturnix Corner Live. But there are some live streams that I want to, there are some announcements that I want to make real quick because it kind of pertains to what's going on next week, Tuesday on our show. But first off, I got a text message yesterday from Robbie Richard from James Marie Farms, and Robbie is working right now. He's been actually thinking about this for several months now, but he had some issues with being sick and whatnot, so he really couldn't do anything. But anyhow, I talked to him yesterday, and he is going to come on one of the shows, either Coturnix Corner Live or here on the Shop Talk show, and kind of give us a history on James Marie Farms. Tell us how their operation runs. How the JMF line, became as big as it did. It's kind of like pretty much the standard, here in the States. I'm not sure about overseas, but here in the States, I think everybody kind of measures their jumbos by the James Marie standard. So anyhow, kind of look for that. He's supposed to call me in the near future, and we're going to sit down and talk and figure out, when we can bring him on, what we're going to talk about. It would be really nice to get a tour of his farm. So anyhow, as soon as I talk to Robbie, I'll keep you guys informed on that and let you know what's going on. January 25th, which is this coming Tuesday, Naomi Fannin from Kansas City Quail Farm will be here. Actually, she'll be on the Coturnix Corner Live show. She has some announcements that she needs to make about her business, and she's also, you know, sent me some pictures and stuff, so we'll be doing a live show. She'll be talking about her birds and whatnot. So that's going to be a really good show, guys. Don't miss it. It's this coming Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, Coturnix Corner Live, and that's on a Tuesday. February 1st, Kenny Mitchell is coming. For those of you who know Kenny, he is quite the character. He's a regular over on Coturnix Corner. He's got his own group page. He's got his own YouTube channel. Kenny's just a great guy. He's very charismatic. He does he does really good in front of a camera. I love watching the guy. So he's going to be here February 1st. We're going to do kind of like a member spotlight thing, you know, like we've done before. So, all right, that pretty much does it for everything that I've got to talk about. I don't know how we're doing on time. 8 o'clock. Okay, we're doing good. All right, let me get back up to the top here, and we will run through some of these questions. Yeah, James is in the house. Evening all. Is that an echo I hear? Is that echo really that bad? Maybe I'm talking too loud. Maybe if I just kind of quiet down a little bit. I don't know if I can use... All right, let me know if that did anything. I just turned on, it's called echo cancellation, but I don't think it's used for room echo. I think it's for an echo if you were to have one of my guests, you know, accidentally had the live stream playing, it would echo it out. So anyhow, we'll see what it is. Richard says it is, okay. Jeff Martin's in the house. Hey, all from Nebraska. And like I just said earlier, guys, normally we're not going to be reading every single comment in here. When we actually go with the Shop Talk shows, we'll be basically, you guys can talk amongst yourself in the chat room, that's fine, but we'll be taking questions and getting answers that pertain to whatever subject it is we're working on. But we don't have... a whole lot of questions in here tonight, so I'll go ahead and read them real quick. Henriette's in the house, says evening all, and why can't we read that? It's because it's dark. Let me see if I can fix that up for you guys. Hold on a minute. Command tilde. All right, that looks a little bit better. Hopefully you guys can see that. Richard Founders here from Arizona. Welcome. Tim Baldridge, happy Friday from Michigan. Richard says, anybody use fodder to supplement? I don't. I know a few people that do. Matter of fact, I seen a post, when was it? A day or two ago. Some guy had 2 big trays growing inside, and not even in soil. It was on water and I think paper towel, he said. But yeah, a lot of people do use that. Bags of Love says, good evening, everyone, from North Carolina. It's 28 degrees there. You can keep that. Gary is from cold Nebraska. Welcome, Gary. Travis says, hello from northern Minnesota. James says, 22 degrees here, heading to 10. You can keep that. David Smith says, greeting from central Missouri. Woke up to 1 degree Fahrenheit. I don't like this microphone in my face. It... gets in the way. Henriette says, heading for another heat stroke tomorrow, about 43 degrees here in South Africa. They say it's the hottest summer ever recorded in South Africa. Wow, that's crazy. Lady Gecko Foot says, hello from North Carolina. They lied about the snow. Glenn Wells says, howdy from Southeast Missouri. Welcome to the show, Glenn. Hello, everyone from Pennsylvania. It's 0 degrees there. Wow. Richard Fowler says, I appreciate the shop talk. Yeah, hopefully it'll go good. And another thing I want to say, guys, is I don't know if this shop talk is going to be an every week thing. We may start out doing it, you know, every other week until we see how it's going to, you know, work out. You know, and if it takes off, if it does, we'll go ahead and maybe make it a weekly thing. I just don't want to dump too much on my plate to where, you know, I've got the Coturnix Corner live show. I've got videos that I have to do for the channel. But this is one thing that I thought would be a, you know, a really good idea as far as live streams. I'd love to be able to sit down. To me, it's kind of like sitting down watching a cooking show. I'm not going to say this is going to be a cooking show, but there's actually some content behind it. You're actually learning how to do something. So to me, that's what I want to make this shop talk turn into. Travis says we are at 11 degrees, heading to -8, but warmer than 2 nights ago, -30. Wow. Hello, hello, hello. Look, this is Mark from the La Rochelle farm. Got it right that time, didn't I, Mark? Look at this high-tech studio setup. It's not really high-tech, but Andrea Perry says hello. James says got the green screen working. James, I didn't know if you shoot videos. What? That's cool. Yeah, green screen's nice. It can save you time. I use a green screen when I do the Coturnix Corner Live. I started out with just a backdrop in the room, and I thought that looks kind of tacky, so I put a green screen up there. That way I can, put the Coturnix Corner logo and whatnot, and I think it looks a little better. Michael Perry says, "Good evening, all." Good evening. Lauren's in the house. Hey, all, driving but wanted to listen in. Glad you could join us, Lauren. Lauren is one of our moderators, as is Henriette. They are moderators over on the Coturnix Corner Live. Virgil says, made it. Hello. Hello, Virgil. Veronica says, hi from upstate New York, calling for possibly 15 below. I don't know how you guys deal with that. It's funny, too, because I'm originally from Michigan, but I've been living in Florida for pushing 40 years now, so don't think my blood can handle that cold northern temperature. Eddie says, good evening from San Angelo, Texas. There's my buddy from the Netherlands. Klaus is in the house. Hello, everyone. Henriette says, hello, everyone. Hello, Klaus. Richard says, question, Q&A. Yes, definitely. Like I said earlier, we're going to do a Q&A, but it's not going to be this style of Q&A where I'm reading everything. It's going to be a Q&A. And what I'm going to try to do is there are some settings that YouTube has when you schedule the live stream that you can make it. Like right now, the live stream is delayed. I'm using a normal, I forgot the word they use, normal. Anyhow, it's a little bit of a delay from what I say to where you guys hear it, but I can change those settings as long as I have enough bandwidth. I can change those settings to where it's almost real time. So if I ask you a question, you can answer it immediately, and I will see it immediately. So, yeah. Klaus says, Terry, are you going to sing for us tonight? That sound quality is top notch. Cool, and you don't want to hear me sing. I play guitar, and I don't even sing when I play guitar because it sounds so terrible. I think my voice just kind of went south as I got old. James talking to somebody else. Mark says, I surely hope you went and finally got yourself a cordless drill. I'm probably going to have to do these hands-on projects and whatnot for the show. So, yeah, that's probably going to be a good investment. Bobby Turner says, good morning. It's evening here, but good morning wherever you are. Stephen Ray says Fort Pierce, Florida. Welcome. Jason Dyer says hello from North Central Illinois. Okay, guys, you gotta give me some ideas for this thing. I mean, I'll come up with some stuff, but I want to give you guys what you want to see, not everything that I just want to put out there. Harley's Game Birds in the house says hello, everyone. Johnny says, hello, everyone. Henriette says, I am fine with a Friday night. Okay, there we go. That's another one. Okay, that's 2 votes for Friday night. Jeff Martin says, I like Friday and 7:30. I don't know where you guys are located. I mean, I know where Henriette's at. Not talking to me. Let's see. Text Long Gone says, Terry, you should schedule it for Sunday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. That way you can get people off work, done with church, looking to learn things from a really good guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to do it in the afternoon, say, early afternoon. The problem with that is we got to 3 or 4 hour difference from us in the West Coast. I don't want guys, to have to check in. Well, Sunday, yeah, I guess people are off most of the time during the day. I don't know. That's something to think about. I'm going to kind of go through all this, and I'll talk to a few people afterwards and see what they thought. Lady Geckofoot says Sunday at 7:30 p.m. It's possible, but there is another live stream on Sunday, and I don't know how well that would be taken if I tried to do a live stream the same time as theirs. Mark says Friday is good. I'm getting older now, so those party nights are long gone. Yeah, mine too. Yeah, let me see how many people we got in here anyhow. Hold on, let me hit Command tilde. Okay, well, yeah, we got 85 people for really an unannounced live stream, so that's not too bad. Daryl Spencer says hello from Kansas. Hello. Klaus says other channels are trying to step on your toes, so you would be better step on their heads on Sunday. That would be fantastic. For me, it would be perfect 2 to 3 hours earlier at the weekend. So, okay, well, there's an idea. Veronica says Sunday at 2 p.m. works. David Smith says Saturday should be good. Then you could have a larger span of time to choose from that works for a variety of time zones. Yeah, and I don't think there are any other live streams on Saturdays. I mean, for me, it really doesn't matter because I'm kind of semi-retired anyhow. I mean, I still work, but this is my last year of work. I'm quitting after the end of the year. But so I'm pretty much available, all week long, unless I've got to fly, during the week. Any day works for me. Donna said, what about every other week? Rotate your hour to meet the 2 different coasts. I have a friend that does that, and it seems to work for her. That's an idea. If we start out doing a show every other week, that would be one show at one time zone, once a month, and then the second time zone on the second half of the month. So that may work. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is if people get used to a certain time, they kind of are always there. It seems like every time I switch, like even with the Coturnix Corner Live, if I cancel the show but I redo it on like Friday, I lose half of my viewers. It's just people know, 7 o'clock on Tuesday is Coturnix Corner Live. So yeah, we can think about that one too and see how it was. Vasil says, hi, you give away the incubators. Are you planning to build something different? Thanks. I did. I gave away 2 of the DIY incubators that I built. I kept the third one. That's going to be a lockdown box for me. These commercial incubators that I'm using, the Baratos and my hatching time incubator, are going to be strictly for incubating. And then in my DIY box, I've got 2 shelves and 2 hatching boxes, which I plan on putting a divider down each one of them. That way I can separate the eggs, so as the chicks hatch out, I know what lines they came from, stuff like that. So, yeah, but the incubators did go. They were extremely happy to get them, and I'm glad to see that, somebody's going to get some use out of them instead of them, sitting around here collecting dust, which they were doing. Pastime 84 says, hello, everyone here from Mansfield, Texas. Welcome. Junie's in the house. Hey, folks. Henriette says, we actually built that little weigh cage, and it works like a bomb. It is. It's amazing. I mean, I can't believe I didn't think of it a while ago. Henriette says, get your quails in a row, Terry. What scale do I use? To be honest with you, I can't think of it right off the top of my head. It's in the other room. It's a postal scale, darn. If I think of it, I will announce it. But yeah, it works really good. It's battery powered and has a wall wart, so I can plug it into the wall if I need to. But works really great. Michelle says, good evening. Late as always, but I made it. Welcome. Glad you could be here. Johnny B. Good says Fridays is good with me. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday are already taken. Yeah, Sunday and Monday. Tuesday is ours. Thursday and Wednesday is taken too, if you want to count WTF. Are you planning on having the ability to have a live video interaction? Yes. Well, yes, kind of. What I want to be able to do is, if we want to bring you guys on the show, I can actually post a link, like in the description or over on the Facebook group page, and you guys could actually click on that link. As long as you got your camera set up, cell phone or whatever you're using, you can actually come on the show and be live. But I'm going to have to think a little bit about that, because what I like to do is I like to, talk to the person prior to them coming on the show. Now, I do plan on having guests coming on the show, and some of those guests will have, we will have discussed it prior to going live, and I know what they're going to show, what projects they may be working on, stuff like that, just so, we're not wasting time. I don't want to bring somebody on and just have them talk about nothing. If it's going to benefit the live stream, then absolutely, we'll bring them on. So I think to start with, we'll just have scheduled guests come on. If you want to be a guest on the show, you're more than welcome to, message me or email me, and, we can talk about it and get you on there. Veronica says, love the scale cage. Richard says, are you going to discuss topics like meat production on jumbo versus non-jumbos, meat quality differences of the, I don't know what Wild V engineered, like the Texas A&M. Okay, I know what you mean by the Texas A&Ms. Yeah, I mean, that can absolutely be a topic. I don't have a real large... I am working on jumbo lines for some of my different colors, but as far as my jumbo pharaohs, I am working with one line that is unbelievably amazing. I mean, the birds are huge, and they are so... I mean, listen to them. These guys are so quiet that it's just... They're very well-behaved quail. I'm surprised. James says, I'd like to see an egg storage solution that maintains the eggs at 45 to 55 for later incubation or sale for hatching, and turns the eggs every few hours. That's interesting. Although I mean, if eggs are in storage, at 45 to 55 degrees, they are in a state of suspended development. So I don't see why they would actually need to be turned. The reason you're turning eggs is so that the developing embryo doesn't stick to one side of the egg or one side of the shell. So, but yeah, that's definitely something we could do. I do have one of those little dorm fridges, which is what I use for my eggs. I collect eggs in those. Of course, they're all the way down at the other end. And those blue. Actually, let me grab one. They're right here. Hold on a second, guys. I know everybody uses these, but I just want to show them. I collect eggs in these, and I just slide them into the refrigerator. I have the volume. I have the temperature turned down all the way down to its warmest setting, I guess you would say. And on average, it stays about 50 degrees in there. But you got to remember, it's warm out here in my shop. So if I was like in an air-conditioned room, that would probably be a little bit cooler in there. But yeah, it works. All right, Salvador's here. Hello, Terry and everyone from Puerto Rico. Welcome, Salvador. Glad you could make it. Michelle Rushing says, yes, the guest projects on Shop Talk, maybe not every single one, but at least occasional. Yeah, and that's what I thought, Michelle, because one, it's when I go to have a guest on that actually has to, get set up to do a project, it would be a lot of work on their end. I mean, it's hard enough right now to get a guest on the Coturnix Corner live show, scheduling, getting them to, take pictures and whatnot so I can use it for a slideshow. Yeah, it's a lot of work just doing that. So I can imagine how much more work it would be to bring them on the show but maybe they could come on the show, and especially if they're expert in whatever topic we happen to be discussing. They can help out, live on the show doing that. Mark says, I'll fly to Florida and get out of this freezing cold. We'll be in Fort Lauderdale in April. Cool. Not sure how far away that is. It's just across the state. About 90 minutes. Yeah, about a 90-minute drive. Tim says, I'm liking these on Friday. Okay. So far, I mean, a lot of people seem to like Friday. I myself thought it was kind of, I won't say useless, but going against the grain doing it on Friday. Because I know when I got out of work on Friday, last thing I want to do is rush around to, get cleaned up, get to the bank, get dinner, whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, if it's good for you guys. Oh, wow. Yeah. Bird Dog says, hello all from Nashville. Might miss Tuesday's live because of Meatloaf's funeral. Yeah, that's a shame. I saw that this morning on the news. Definitely one of my favorite artists. I grew up with him. Bobby says, talking to James, I use a small wine fridge. Yep, I do too. Richard says production differences, if any, on community versus pen raised. I wonder what the V's for. Community raised versus pen. Sometimes this brain doesn't work like it used to. 4-to-1 ratio. That's a good talk. That's actually a really good talk. I see a lot of people on the Facebook group page talk about aggression issues that they're having, and a lot of people say, well, check your ratios. A lot of times aggression is caused by poor ratios. Guys, I have 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 out in my aviary. I mean, I know it's the winter months, but I've probably got 30 males out there right now, and there's not a single one that has picked feathers or has been beat up on, I guess you'd say. I think it's a lot to do with your culling. If you cull, you have a strict culling program as far as you can cull out aggression. I think that's very easy to do. I got lucky. Some of the breeders that I purchased my stock from or my hatching eggs from, they do a very good job of culling for aggression, and I haven't had any issues. As a matter of fact, I wish I could, those birds are a little young on the on that camera, but hold on, let me show you real quick. I'm going to unhook this camera from my phone and go to this, the NDI cam. And I just want to show you real quick. I mean, you look at my breeders, there are no, I mean, even their heads are clean. A lot of times you'll see your hen that has, feathers pulled out on top of their head. The males here, I hope you guys could hear me because I don't think the microphone on this camera was working. But anyhow, I just wanted to show you that with strict culling, you can, get your flock to be pretty non-aggressive. Let me get back to my other shot here. Stephen Ray says, what degree is the bottom of a cage for a rollout for the eggs, like the cages behind you? In 20 inches, I have 1.5 inches of fall. So, it's actually 26 inches. It's 20 inches to this point, and then I have 26 inches out here. But from the back of the cage to this forward part of the cage, she's aggressive, she's pecking me, is 1.5 inches. And that works well. I don't get any broken eggs. I don't get any eggs hang up inside the cage, so that works out good. Let me plug this camera back in. We're going to end up losing it. All right. Travis says, question for everyone. I'm very new and just digging into raising quail, but in the video with where you're building the egg layer cages that were 20 by 36, how many quail would go in them? Okay, I have, like this cage here measures 20 by 36. There is no divider on it. I can put, on an average, 15 quails what I put in there. It would be 13 hens and 2 roosters. But on the cages that do have the divider down the center, I'll put 5 on each side. So it'll be actually it'd be 6 on each side, 1 to 5 ratio. So it'd be 6 on each side. Richard Finer says cage is a great idea. Okay, I think he's talking about the scale cage. Cute Quail Covey Farm says checking in from Virginia. Welcome. Klaus says, I agree with what you said about other channels. It's boring, 3 hours and learn nothing. Such a waste of time. Shop talk with guests next to their quail setup sounds interesting. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, Klaus. I mean, I know what I would want to watch, and I'm hoping, that it would be interesting to you guys also. Michelle says, with or without giveaways, I would love to see some product demonstrations and reviews. That is a great way for some of us who really can't afford to do trials to see results from someone we trust. I agree 100%. And the reason I say giveaways is some of this stuff gets sent to me, and if I can't use it in my operation, I would rather see somebody that could use it. I don't want to just stick it on a shelf somewhere and let it collect dust and not get any use. So, but that's the reason behind that. But yeah, Michelle, as a matter of fact, I had a friend of mine just come over. He's the same guy that I gave 5 Nurture Right 360s to. They were given to me a couple years ago. I used them maybe a half a dozen times, and I boxed them up and put them away. But I gave them to a friend of mine, and I called him a couple days ago and asked him if he could bring one back because I want to review it. Just watch the review, and you'll see why I wanted to review it. So, Junie says Richmond, Virginia here. Jeff says Quail Cam has some nice calm quail. Yeah, those are some of my sparklies. I got some jumbo Italian sparklies from HP over at Gopher Ridge Quail, and yeah, they're pretty calm. I mean, they're pretty decent birds, and I got a lot of nice colors. Actually, I separated them. The Italians, and then the Italians that are only carrying one of the sparkly gene, and then the Italians that are homozygous with 2 copies. So they're all separated out right now. Donna says those are great ideas. I would never have thought of the little cage. Sharing tips and tricks is very helpful. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about, just kind of helping people. And believe me, I didn't think of this stupid little cage until probably well into my 2nd year. I think after I got tired of chasing them around, and it got to be a big pain. I'm like, what on earth am I doing? I'm taking them out of a little cage, which is my sorting cage. I take them out of that. I put them on the scale, weigh them if I can get them to sit still, and then after I'm done fighting with them, I put them, in their regular cage. I'm like, why didn't I just build a small cage to sit on top of the scale? I don't know why it took me so long to think of that, but yeah, it worked. Michelle says, thank you for the Quail Cam. Really enjoyed that. Virgil says, click the like button. Thanks. Echoey voice while on the website. Okay. Thanks, Tim. That's good to know. I don't know why, but hopefully the echo is gotten a little bit better. I can hear echo in here right now, guys, while I'm talking. I am hearing room echo. So if that's what you're hearing, that I'm really not too worried about right now, because I can get, like I said, the lapel mic, that will take care of a lot of that. Richard says benefits of weekly sand baths and or fodder supplementation. Excellent topics. Your sound is changing, Terry. Kurt says echoes from the laptop. Guys, is it really that bad? I mean, is the echo so bad that you can't understand what I'm saying, or am I just talking too loud and the room's echoing? Let me know on that. Angus says, what is the trick to get the yolks in the middle of the quail eggs while hard boiling them? I tried stirring and never figured it out. Just don't stir too much. I really never have any problem with them. I stir them once or twice in the beginning, and then I don't mess with them. I mean, I'll get the occasional one where the yolk's up against the side of the shell, but okay. She says it's better now. Okay, thanks, Henriette. Eddie, this is perfect, Eddie. Short and sweet. Seems like others are too long. I like the Coturnix Corner interviews that you try to keep to the point and informative. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know how some people can go as long as they do. I can't. I can't stand to hear myself talk that long. But no, the biggest thing is, as far as I'm concerned, is keeping it engaging and keeping it interesting. Because if you don't keep it interesting, people aren't going to want to hang around. Like last week, we had Perry Schofield on here, or on Coturnix Corner Live, and I could listen to him for hours. I mean, Perry's just a great guy, but I promised him I wouldn't go more than an hour and a half, and I think we went an hour and 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so yeah, we will definitely, keep them probably right at an hour. Short and to the point, depending on the topic, and how long it takes us to do it. But what I'll probably do is try to, like if we're building something, I'll try to have something in different stages, kind of like the baking shows again, where, show you how you make it up, and then with the magic of television, here's one that's cooked up. So, something along them lines. Richard says, fee pansies. I hope not. I don't want any fee in my lines. Would need to mute the mic on the laptop to eliminate the echo. The laptop is muted. It's been muted since I started. La Rochelle Farm says, nice, Terry, using the Bravado. I know Mark uses the same one. Donna, I don't know what question Richard asked. Hopefully I answered it. Okay, Tim says voice sounds fine now. It was off while on the laptop camera and website. Okay. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to put it on the laptop camera. Okay, laptop camera is on now. So I just noticed that when I turned the laptop camera on, it did unmute the microphone on the laptop, and I can actually go in there and mute it again. So now it's muted. Hopefully that was an issue with that. So yeah, it's a learning thing out here with this thing, because my setup inside is a lot different. I don't have the room echo like I have here in the quail room. Terry, I love the black and white quail you showed next to the pansy. What is it? That was also a pansy. It's just your standard Rotkoff or pansy. The red pansies, that's the line that I'm working on now. I really love those. Richie says, question, I'm using the 360, having great difficulty getting humidity up. I have only 6 eggs in lockdown. Would that affect humidity versus having it full of eggs? No, it shouldn't. Depending on where you are, if your outside humidity is really low, like say you've got 20 to 30% humidity in your house, or if you're in an air conditioned room, turn the air conditioner off, because that's going to drop your humidity. What you can do is take a damp towel and lay it over top of the nurturite. That will help to hold it in. Also, make sure that your plugs for your water fill port are in, so you're not sucking in dry air from there. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about that in our next video. Kristen B says, hi Terry, hello everyone from Montreal, welcome. I understand mercy, everything else is over my head, sorry about that. Henriette said, English please, yep, sorry about that. Christian B says, hello. I do not speak French. Is that what that was? Was French? Okay. Sorry about that. Can you keep bobwhite quail with Coturnix in the same cage? I wouldn't. I don't know how aggressive they are. I've never tried it. I did hatch out some bobwhite chicks for a buddy of mine who trains dogs. And I did have his bobwhites in with some Coturnix chicks. They did fine, but I would not cage them together as far as adults. Travis says, sounds good on his end. That's good to know. I think he was saying thank you for the cool videos. Okay, thank you, Junie. James says it would be nice to know things like average weight, meat and eggs for the various JMF lines. Same for Kansas City Quail Farm. Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. As a matter of fact, James, check into Tuesday's live stream. Naomi will be there from Kansas City Quail, and you can talk to her all about it. She is a referral farm for the JMF lines, and that's what she carries, so she can answer all your questions. Henriette says sound is fine now. Sound has been good for the past few minutes. Sound was much worse before. Okay, thank you, Angus. Appreciate it. Mark says echo's not bad at all. The echo comment was about the room being silent when I arrived. Okay. Junie says 65 watching, but only 27 likes. Come on, folks, show some love. Yeah, wow, they must listen to you because we're up to 64 likes now. So, like I said in some of my Coturnix Corner lives, I don't really care about the whole like thing. Yeah, it does help with the algorithm for YouTube, but you know, I'm not. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you guys don't give me likes. I'll put it that way. I know some people like them, but to me it doesn't really matter. Bird Dog Quail Farm says, a question, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch in the brooder and 1/2 by 1 in the grow outs, and full grown cages will be fine. Yeah, absolutely. My brooders, well, actually, my tub brooders, which are the Sterilite tubs, that's what I put my chicks in for the first 2 or 3 days. They're on pine shavings, but they come out of that and they go right into, now I'm using the hatching time brooders and the hatching time grow out cages. I'm still testing those, but these chicks here that you're seeing on the quail cam, they went into this cage on 1/2 by 1 at 10 days old, and they were fine. For the most part, most of my chicks are off the light by 10 days, and as you know, those were also. And yeah, they did fine on the 1/2 by 1. Didn't have any issues with feet getting caught or hung up in them or anything. Donna says, question for anyone. After 3 days discussing outdoor aviaries for my first time birds, my husband and I feel it won't be a good idea. Thinking of trying to make an above ground aviary. Any thought? Yeah, that'll work. I mean, Donna, I don't know if your issue is with like predators or whatever, but I built an aviary on a concrete slab, and that worked out great, but I could only put about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of substrate in it. So what I did was I took concrete block, which is 8 inches high, and I lifted up the aviary and set them on concrete block, and kind of stuccoed the block in, to fill everything in, hold everything together. And now I can put 10.5, 11 inches of substrate in there, and I'm doing the deep litter method, which works really well. I'm using 1/2 by 1/2 wire on the entire outside of the aviary, with the exception of the top. I'm using just your standard poultry wire or chicken wire. Excuse me, I need a drink. And then I've got that covered with a tarp, so that's working really well. I do not hear any ego. I hope that's echo, but you won't hear any ego here either, because I don't really have much of an ego. Terry, I did not find the wire mesh 1 by 2, so I bought 1.5 by 1.5. You think that's a good measure for the cages? Yeah, I think that'll work okay. I know some people have used 1 inch by 1 inch for the outside of the cage, and it works fine for them. Jesse says, how many wilds would you recommend keeping for introducing fresh genetics in breeding other color lines like silvers? It's really going to depend on how many different color lines you have. I only keep, I mean, I have several different color lines right now, and I don't have a whole lot of birds right now because I'm just starting to rebuild from getting rid of all my quail before and an issue that we had with them. But I've only got one male with 4 hens in here, and then another cage I've got 4 hens and an Egyptian male for other reasons. But as far as for breeding your color lines back to a Pharaoh to see what else they might be carrying, I would have at least, a couple. I would always breed a male back to your color lines. That way, you've only got to keep, maybe 2 or 3 males extras. I like having extra males because you never know, something could happen. One could die, one could get beat up, hopefully that never happens here. But yeah, I would keep a couple of them anyhow. Michael Perry says, what time are we doing? Oh, it's 8:30. We're already at 1 hour. Okay, this one's not going much more than an hour and a half. So at 9 o'clock, I'm going to pull the plug on this. That's one thing that I don't want to do, guys. I don't want to run these live so long that you guys get bored and don't want to hang out. Michael Perry says, hello from Newport Richie, working on finishing up my hutches right now, hoping to get my temp issue fixed in my Terry incubator build, so maybe I can order my first eggs this weekend. Michael, contact me, either email me, terry@coturnixcorner.com, or hit me up over on Facebook and let me know what your temperature issue is, because I had 3 boxes that held temperature perfect. I mean, and I know a lot of people online that say the same thing. Once you get your temperature tweaked, it's no problem keeping the temperature right. A lot of people said they have issues with the humidity, and the only thing I can say about that is it's going to depend on where you live. Is going to depend on how you address that issue with humidity. I don't have any issues with humidity because it's like 50 to 80% all the time down here. So. Michelle says, oh no, we lost you. I don't know what that's talking about. I hope I didn't. Oh, you're back. That was weird. Okay, cool. The La Rochelle Farm says, I won't mention the breeder's name. Okay, might be a good idea. Salvador says, Puerto Rico, 79. Oh, James says, no, Terry, I thought you were green screening. You look strangely crisp and sharp compared to the birds behind you. That is because the camera, I've got a really low aperture on the lens that I'm using right now, and it's focused on me. It's got a very shallow depth of field, which is why everything behind me is out of focus. I think this here would probably be in focus because it's pretty much even with my head. But yes, everything behind me will be kind of blurry. But nope, no green screens out here. La Rochelle Farm says, I noticed about a 20-second delay when I was on Terry. Yep, that's about average for the delay. But there is a setting that I can go into the YouTube settings and change, which will make that less of a delay. I think you can make it almost real time with like 1 or 2 seconds. But I don't know the bandwidth requirements on that, so I'll have to check into that. Donna Southwood says, hello from Canada. Thanks for considering those of us on the West Coast when deciding on the time. Yeah, I hear a lot of, I get a lot of people that say, I wish I could have checked into your live stream, but I'm still at work, or, I'm on my way home from work, whatever. So, yeah. Donna says Friday evening's good. Jason says Friday night is good. My problem is work every other Friday, but this Friday worked out great for me. Yeah, I think we're going to run into an issue no matter what day we pick. We're not going to make everybody happy. Maybe Fridays will work. I guess I was thinking back, when I'd get out of work, and that was the last thing I wanted to do was rush home and, try to, catch a live stream or catch even a television show. See, Mark says, Terry, in order to control the length of show, I'm guessing on a build you will have to have all the pieces pre-made and then just do the assembly live. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Kind of like the baking show again. Show the basics, but have a second one that I can bring in. And I do that with you guys probably don't realize it, but I do that with a lot of my videos that I'm working on. I'll actually, like the incubator build video. Parts of that was all pre-assembled prior to putting it together. So, yeah. Mary Green says, hello all from Cali. Hello. Richie likes Friday nights also. Cool. James says, comment, I'm not picky on which day, but my bedtime is NLT no later than 10 p.m. My cats have me on an early wake up. I have a dog that does the same thing every morning at 5 o'clock. Got to wake me up. Yeah, we'll never run that late. So, Rodney also says Friday is good. Let's see. Glenn's in the house. CQ. Quick question. Do you keep medical first aid kit in your bird room? And if so, what's in it? Tuesday and Wednesday nights, I have radio nets on 2 meter. Any other is good. Okay, so I'll say that Friday will work with you also. Med kits, no, but I could probably use them. I don't know if you guys can see them, but my hands are all scratched up. I was working with wire, building some more cages, and I wasn't wearing my gloves, and I'm all tore up. No, I do. I have a first aid kit on the other side of the wall in the bathroom, so if I need it, I can run and grab that. The only thing that I really use as far as if a bird gets injured, I'll paper towel one to, clean up the blood. I also use, it's called witch hazel. I'll put a little bit of that on the paper towel and kind of wipe off the bloody spots. It probably stings a little bit, but it's pretty good as far as stopping the bleeding. It's kind of it's not an antiseptic. It's and of course I can't think of that word, but I'll use that. And then what I'll do is I'll put like a triple antibiotic ointment on it, and that just keeps it from bleeding anymore. But to be honest with you, I don't have any issues with my birds getting beat up. The worst thing I had was I had one hen. I had a sharp point, which it's been ground down already, but I had one of my hens, I guess she pecked at that sharp point and cut the inside of her mouth. And I couldn't figure out how she was bleeding from inside her mouth. I thought, because I couldn't find any cuts anywhere, but the blood was coming from, inside her beak somewhere. So Henriette says, I will always try to be here no matter what time you choose. Okay, thank you. That is if my internet is not dropping like it used to do in the past. Yep, I hear you. Peg's here from California. Welcome. S.O. Swanson's in the house. Hey, Terry and the Quail crew. Here for the shop talk and learning something new from Memphis. Welcome. I believe it's Steve, isn't it? If I got it wrong, sorry about that. But yeah, welcome. Basically, tonight is just talking about the plans for the shop talk live streams and trying to work out, some issues with, day, time, stuff like that. Like I said, I don't really want to step on anybody else's feet as far as live streams go. Eddie says something for future growth would be to have an in-house with you moderator. Yeah, I mean, we've got moderators for the channel, so I don't know what you mean by in-house moderator, but we do have moderators here on the channel. I have 2 of them, and whether they can make it, I don't know. I'm sure both of them can make it. S.O. Swanson says, what color is that reddish colored quail? That they are all sparkly jumbo-side, although I do think there's a couple in there that are sparkly pharaohs, and you're probably just seeing the red breast. They would be males. Yeah, I'm looking at the back of one right now. So that's probably the one that you're talking about. Donna says, live audience where you pick a few to ask your questions. Just a thought. That's an idea. Yeah, and like I say, Donna, we're not going to, like right now I'm reading every single comment. That's not going to happen during the shop talk videos or the project videos, just because one, it eats up way too much time. So we'll just be going through, taking questions, or if somebody makes a comment that pertains to what we're working on, then yeah, we will show that. The darker reddish brown, yep. Okay, that's the... I think Klaus says that it was a Rue Rotkoff. That was in the pictures, Klaus. I think he's talking about what was on the live cam. Okay, James says, everything I see says eggs in storage should be turned. Reference Chris Carnes and Marshire. James, I have never turned an egg prior to incubation. I set them in these here, or sometimes if I don't have any of these empty, I will use a regular shipping foam. I'll put the eggs in them, and I will set them on the shelf inside that refrigerator, or sometimes I even go into my computer room, which is air conditioned, and they sit on the shelf. I never let my eggs go more than 3, maybe 5 days before I put them in. But I've never turned them, and I still get 90% hatch rates most of the time on my eggs anyhow. Kurt Beer says, is the air filter still working for you? It is. It's actually, I've got the single air filter sitting down on the floor right now because that seems where that's most of the dander goes. And yes, it's working very well. Also, I installed, I'm probably going to do a video on it, but I actually installed an exhaust fan over in the window. And I love it. I mean, it's the exhaust fan. It's got the little louvers that open up when you turn it on. And I cannot believe when you're drawing out that much air, that thing pulls out 780 cubic feet per minute, I think it said. It's taking the smell with it, because I walk out here in the morning, and when I normally do, I can smell a little bit of manure, but I mean, it's like I just clean cages. So I'm happy with it. Jeff says, would like to hear about how you got started and why and who assisted. That's an idea for a show. Okay, Klaus is saying the same thing. I've never turned a single egg up to 7 days old. I do not turn eggs up to 14 days if I collect them from one hen with older eggs. That helps. Okay. Johnny Be Good says, if people miss it live on Friday night, they can and will watch it later when it's convenient for them. So it's best to do it whenever it's convenient for you, and don't step on the other major toes. Good point. Yeah, there will be, the replays will be on the channel. I'm actually going to start another playlist which will have nothing but the Shop Talk videos in it, or the Shop Talk lives in it. Lockie says, question, you said 13 hens and 2 roos. Do the roos not fight? Nope, not at all. I'm sorry, I have hearing issues, but who has a problem with Terry's lives? Terry has always had the same live show at the same times. Yeah, the regular Coturnix Corner live show has always been at the same time, so I don't know. I don't know if anybody said there was a problem with it or not. What is your ratio for the hatching time cages? Is 1 to 5 too much? 2 things I do with the hatching time cages. I make a lot of modifications to them, and most of those modifications are in videos on the channel. But in cages where I'm keeping, whether I'm growing out birds or I want to keep a larger amount, I will open the dividers up, I'll cut them out, and then I will keep about 10 birds in that, because that's still 36 inches wide and I think 18 inches deep. So 10 birds in that. If I leave the dividers in, I'll only do like a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 ratio. I really don't even like going to the 1 to 3. A 1 to 2 to me is, a little bit, they've got a little more room to move around. I know a lot of people say that you need to pack your quail in tight, stops aggression and this and that. I don't buy into that, because I don't have aggression issues, and like I say, I've got birds in 1 to 1, 1 to 2, and 1 to 3 ratios without a problem. Donna says, can I get a diagram or something similar with a picture of the different kinds of quails and their names? I tried to find one, but couldn't. Donna, go on Facebook and check out, what's the name of that group? Quail Color and Genetics. There are a ton of people on there that post reference photos all the time with names. They've got a really large collection of photographs on there. I use them as references all the time. No echo, sounds fine to me. Okay, I'm skipping over some of these. Everybody's saying that the sound is fine now. Or sound is good, yeah. No echo. Yes, echoey. B. Hudgens says, sorry about that. I'm watching late, but I really like your ideas about shop talk. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping that it works out because it's something that I think is going to benefit the whole quail community. Instead of just watching the same old live streams over and over and over, I'm trying to come up with live streams that are either educational or are informative and enjoyable to watch. Sorry about that. Bad sound. Peg says, voice been fine. Laptop camera has echo. Okay. Laptop camera was it. Muted, much better. Whoa, laptop added is the problem. Okay, thank you. Del Choo-Choo's in the house. Hello, or hey Terry, greetings from Cuba. Welcome, glad you could make it. Valerie says, do you use leg bands and what size would you recommend? I do. I use the 4-inch zip ties. I have a whole assortment of colors. I bought, I think, a bag of them on Amazon that had like 6 or 8 different colors in there. But yeah, that's what I use. And I usually leave them large enough. Once I band the bird, I'll usually leave enough room to where it can't slip off their foot, but they can actually grow into it. Excuse me again. Jack says, I enjoy your show. I learned how to make the cages from you. Learned a lot from your YouTube shows. Thanks a lot. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Absolutely. Donna says, predators and wet ground during rainy season, which seems to be all year round here in Charleston. We have the same problem here, Donna. I mean, from May till probably late October is our rainy season. And that's another reason I wanted to go with the deep litter method, because that gives them, 11 inches of substrate that the rain can soak down and run off. But I haven't had no problem with it. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about the predators. I would worry about the wet ground. I wouldn't worry a whole lot about, as long as you have good drainage. Farmer Brad said, what's a good way to determine how much to sell quail meat for? I would just check your local area and see, what other people are getting for them. If you have, people in your area that are selling them, post something over on the Facebook group page, Coturnix Corner. There's a lot of people in there. They'll help you out with that. Feeble Farmer says, I'm late, but I'm here. Have a great upcoming weekend, everyone. Thank you. You too. Hermsmeyer, I don't know how to say that, but Herms, why are so many feeds medicated? Are these okay for starter chicks? Well, they medicate feed because most of the feeds that are out there are chicken feed or poultry feed, and they're medicated to prevent those birds from, getting coccidia and other things. You can use medicated feed if that's all you can get for your quail. I feed a non-medicated, but I haven't heard of any issues. I know a few people that feed medicated and they don't have any issues. A lot of people that keep their birds outside do feed medicated, just because they're keeping the birds outside and out the ground. Michael says, hello, everyone. Michael says you missed a question at timestamp 7:57. Only problem with that is I don't see timestamps on my end. Sorry about that. Sorry if I missed your question, whoever it was. If you want to repost it, I will answer it. Michael says, sent you a message on Facebook Messenger. Cool. I will get to that afterwards. Michael says, I appreciate all the great information you give us. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I like to share, but you guys got to remember, I have guests come on Coturnix Corner Live, so they're the ones sharing information. I mean, I share what I can with you, but that's the reason I bring those guests on, is because a lot of people have been doing it a lot longer than I have and are a lot smarter than I am. So that's why I have the guest on the show. Mike says, you know where I can get some Pharaoh quail eggs that has no cow? I don't know what that means. If you're just looking for Pharaohs, check out Southwest Game Birds. Michael's a great guy to deal with. Kansas City Quail Farm, AJ Farms LLC, all great people. I did a video on my recommended breeders for 2022. Check that out. It's got links to all their websites and whatnot. There you go. Junie says, witch hazel is an astringent. Thank you. That's the fancy word I couldn't think of. And it is awesome because it has so many different usage. Yes, it works really well for me. Adirondack Quail and Duck Ranch says, keep Coturnix corner ties. I don't know what that means, but we will, I guess. For Shop Talk, float as needed. Yeah, that was another thing that I wanted to be careful of, is I don't want to get tired, or I don't want to get burned out on doing videos and live streams. So that's why there's a possibility that Shop Talk might be every other week. We'll just see how it goes. We'll get it put together. We'll do a couple of them, see how they go. They might not work out. We might do a couple shows and decide to just pull the plug on them. Otherwise, we could also, decide to do them every week. It all is going to depend on the interaction, number of people that, actually check in and watch the shows. Okay, James says, how about an occasional fairly complicated project where viewers participate? First step would be where everyone buys the parts from a parts list, multi-week for sure, but a real value. That's another great idea. Absolutely, we could do something like that. Daniel says, hello Terry, looking forward to Shop Talk. I learned how to make quail hutches from your videos, and now people want me to make them for them. Great. Great videos. Appreciate you. God bless you too. Thank you very much. I don't know what that means. Volume, maybe, FYI. I think my volume should be okay. According to my gauge, here it is. Ernesto Family says, do you have issues with birds breaking and lots of bleeding? If so, how do you treat? No, I've never had a bird, like pull a toe off or anything. But how I would treat it, first thing I would do is stop the bleeding. Probably hold paper towel on it till the bleeding stopped, and then maybe dip the toe in like baking soda, which is what I do if I clip my dog's nails and I accidentally go too far and it causes a bleeder. That's exactly what I do for my dog, and that seems to work pretty well. So, no, I have not had any issues with feet problems since I went to the coated wire, the 1/2x1, or even with a 1/2x1/2. That pretty much eliminated all my issues with feet. James says, comment. I'd also love to hear about Terry's strategies for cleaning his lines and improving aspects of the same. That is what we are working on now, James. I was and am getting a lot of help from Allie of Maine's Confetti Quail Farm. She does genetics live streams over on the Facebook group page. We get reposted here on YouTube. But Allie's been a little bit tied up lately with a business that she's opening. So hopefully when she gets her quail in a row, she'll be back and the live streams will start up again. Also, I get a lot of information from Klaus. Guys, reach out to Klaus. He's a great guy. Very knowledgeable in genetics. I don't know how these people do it, how they can look at a bird and say, that bird is this and this and het for that, and it just it drives me crazy when they do that. But I'm slowly but surely, catching on, and it'll come. It's just going to take time. Junie says, what do you use to clean your cages? When they get filthy enough, I usually take them outside, pressure wash them. I use a disinfectant called Odoban. I'll spray the entire cage down with that, pressure wash it, and then let them dry out and bring them back in. Del Choo Choo says, how to breed from a bone density, how to find out without doing autopsies. I don't know. I mean, other than, doing it by eye, looking. Oh, yeah. I guess you're talking about bone density inside the bird. I would kind of pay attention to what their legs look like, because, their legs are going to be a good indicator of what the internal bones, I guess, would look like. So I don't know. I don't want to give you a direct answer on that one, but. Donna says, not sure if you have a lot of equipment for caring for quail. However, maybe a equipment maintenance show. Absolutely. That's another line. Alex says, do you sell eggs from AJ Farms LLC line? No, right now I'm cleaning that line up. I'm trying to come up with a clean farrow line. But contact Anita and John over at AJ Farms. Great people to work with, and you'll be very happy with their eggs. Freedom Quail Farm says, my AJ Farm eggs go into lockdown this Sunday. Good luck with your hatch. Mark from Rochelle Farm says, nice. His AJ Farm eggs go into lockdown tomorrow morning. So cool. I've got eggs in the incubator that go into lockdown, I believe, Monday. Yeah, the 24th, Monday. And that is some of the eggs from my AJ Farm farrows, and also some more pansies. Kind of looking forward to that. Ernesto Family says, hi Terry, love your channel. So much amazing information. Thanks for what you do. My quails seem to be breaking a claw, their nail, lots of bleeding when they have it. Any tips or tricks? Okay, yeah, we just talked about that a second ago. Hour and a half and still 90 plus watching. Okay, yeah, we are at 1 minute away from being an hour and a half, so we're almost down to the bottom. So I'm going to go real quick here. Not talking to me. Baking soda, never thought of that. Yeah, I mean, that works good. That's the same stuff that you buy for your dogs. If they get a bleeding toe, that works out really well. Klaus says, there are breeders knowing much more than me, Terry. Yeah, I know, Klaus, there's breeders that know a lot more than all of us, but you have been a wealth of information. You've helped me out, immensely. And like I always say, Allie refers to you as the Roo Master. So if you're the master, I got to go with you. All right, Nick made it. Hey, guys, got off work early. Hope you all are having a wonderful evening. Nick, make sure you watch the replay. A lot of information that might be of interest to you as far as Chop Top goes. Any idea how to treat a broken beak? I've never had that issue. I know some people, will trim the bird's beaks. I've never done that either, but unless it's actually cracked, I don't want to give you an answer because that I don't know either. And Victoria Taylor says, howdy, folks. All right, cool. That brought us down to the bottom of the list for everything that was in the chat. So that's good. We still have almost 100 people in here watching, so that's really good. So guys, what I'm going to do is sit down and go over. I'm going to have to rewatch this so I can see the, some of the questions and stuff. But I'm going to come up with a day for the show. All right, James, we'll see you. He said his cats are giving him the stink eye. Steve says, question, I'll be buying more hatching eggs soon as a beginner and have more, too many questions for this chat. I may email you with them. Absolutely. Terry at Coturnix Corner. I'll be happy to help you out. But yeah, guys, I will, work up a day and time to do these shows. I'll probably do one show. Let's see, Tuesday we've got a show coming up with Naomi on Coturnix Corner Live. We'll do that show, and then probably next week Friday we'll go ahead and do the first shop talk show where we're actually, doing some hands-on work, kind of like a live workshop. Probably won't have a guest appearance yet, but we'll really get engaged in the question and answers. So you guys can. We'll talk about it more then, but keep an eye out on the Facebook group page. I'll post everything over there. I want to thank you guys for all the great suggestions. Thank you guys for hanging out this long with me. Join us Tuesday. If I have any more announcements regarding Shop Talk, I will announce it on Tuesday's Coturnix Corner Live. That is 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Coturnix Corner YouTube channel. So, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for all the great ideas, opinions, comments, and whatnot. I'm glad you were able to check in. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys Tuesday. Thanks again.